shared propensity for gravity defiance, Thuillerie, Baudelaire, and Kleist, each context offsetting the other, before culminating in the glorious coda. How to map this darkness? One might argue that in the end, both outer space and inner space are destined to remain shrouded in mystery and ultimately unknowable, and unconquerable. We may undertake new voyages, assign coordinates, put names to the visible and the invisible, yet it is elusive territory to which we simply give form and measurement. Wherever he finds himself, man's impulse is to limn his own mortal roots. Limb is a lovely word. It sounds like it should come from limen, threshold, and pertain to everything that's liminal, in between. But in fact, it comes from lumen, light, and refers to the illumination of manuscripts, or the embellishing with gold of icons and reliefs, as in Mexican churches. That Mexico, its history, has been both limbed and rent asunder by gold is not lost on Aridjis. It's the starting point for the reflections contained in another essay piece, Baroque. For her, Mexico is pure liminality, pivotal overlap, fluidity, exuberance, a syncretic overlay of European and pre-Columbian civilizations that enacts a constant play between veiling and unveiling, a melting and morphing territory whose art has always rejected straight lines and predictable paths, reveling in a liberated geometry, and, in the moves of whose popular wrestlers the boundary between performer and audience is broken, the geometry of the ring is defied, its quadrangle stretched and deformed again and again. Most illuminating, though, is that the most detailed portrait that Aridjis gives us of a Mexico City resident is a supra-documentary study titled Map of a Lost Soul of a displaced German woman who, abandoned by her family while visiting many years ago, has been wandering the city in a fugue state ever since. This, Aridjis seems to want to tell us, is the truth of Mexico. It's all fugue, all displacement. That's why, in The Tension of Transience, where the term Baroque appears again, the city's goth clubbers, via clothes bought in a Berlin warehouse, channel Victorian English morning dress, and Caspar David Friedrich paintings while they dance to Ultravox and snog with Scottish DJs. Before, out in the car park, stray bullets cut fresh geometries across the air above their heads, heralding a new Baroque, an approaching era of exuberant excess in which cartels will reprise, or syncretize, the sacrificial rituals of the Aztecs and the barbarism of conquistadors, out-grotesquing Goya as they hang limbs from bridges and toss heads out onto dance floors. Yet Mexico, for Aridjis, is less a place than a state of mind, a condition. Observing London, where she now lives, she spots similar displacements, similar fugues, similar veils and disappearances. And in the brutal rapacity of the current regime, a massive pandemic death toll, to which its incompetence and kleptocracy have given rise, analogous forms of barbarism. There is both melancholia and righteous anger in her final piece, Where Are You, Patricia Sigel? The name suggests signets, seals, or ciphers, subtitled Dispatch from London, Spring 2020, but also rich limnings, revolving, like Map of a Lost Soul, around a woman who has wandered from her spot, this time a semi-destitute former Wisconsinite, it paints, in its description of a Baroque Islington laced with stuffed exotic animals, side alleys full of antiquarians, arrays of painted porcelain and fountain pens and toys and maps, under an indented awning and a string of colored light bulbs that give off the aura of an abandoned seaside pavilion. Everywhere points to somewhere else. Plus, of course, bouquet-drenched